Welcome to the Practically Speaking podcast from Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI. In this podcast, we help advisors find solutions and share best practices for practice management, technology, social media, improving the client experience, and working with millennials. Our team share insights, experiences, and tools learned working with advisory firms across the country. Join us on this journey as we uncover the best practices to provide financial advisors with solutions to help advisors grow, differentiate, and create efficiencies in their businesses.
Hello and welcome to another Practically Speaking podcast. Today we're going to have an opportunity to get to know Allie Carey, who's the Director of Client Experience at Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI. Allie, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm super excited to be here.
And I am super excited for our listeners to have a chance to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to start with some professional questions, and then we're going to go into who you are personally and really what makes you tick. So the first question is what do you do for the Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI?
Great question. So the Director of Client Experience is not a title that a lot of people are used to hearing. A lot of times it relates to a position that's geared towards a sales team. So basically what I get to do is I get to channel our client in everyday activities of our product development group. So I get to be in contact with our client. I get to speak with them as much as I possibly can, engage them on what different problems and issues they're having in their business so that we can come up with creative solutions to help them either get more efficient, gain more clients, become more profitable. It's a really exciting role, and it's something that is new at SEI, and I'm working with a great team of product managers to really craft it. So it's really exciting, and we have a lot of great solutions coming in the next 6 to 18 months that we as a team have had an impact in crafting. So it's fun.
Why did they hire you? What sort of pedigree or background or experience do you have that made SEI say, you know what, Allie's the person we want to work with?
So that's an interesting question because SEI actually hired me right out of college. I came to SEI in 2010. So for those of us that know what was going on in the market in 2010, we were just starting to recover from the 2008 crisis. So it wasn't the best job market to come out of college. And really, I think they hired me because I was a quick learner. I have really great skills in getting to know people. And being personable and extroverted. I grew up traveling the country because my dad was in the Navy. So I'm very adaptive and am able to relate to a lot of people. And I was definitely just wanting to learn. So they hired me into a sales position. I got to know the clients. I'm someone that really likes to understand how things work. So I moved into technology side of the business. And so the role I'm in now, I have an interesting background of both understanding our business and our client and their business, as well as building technology and the work that goes into that. So I'm able to bring those two worlds together.
What is your passion when it comes to your job?
My passion, and I don't mean for this to sound cheesy in any way, is really the client. Coming out of school, as I said, and being able to connect directly with advisors and really understand the challenges and the responsibility that they have in their business, it's something that resonated with me. Advisors, specifically financial advisors, financial planners, whatever they name themselves as, are really helping people every day achieve their goals. And the fact that I get to have an impact on helping them meet their goals is something that's really important to me. And so I'm most passionate about creating solutions and technology that can further the mission in helping their clients. Especially now, coming out of school, as I said, during the financial crisis, advisors give investors access to sound advice, right? And helping them minimize the impacts that any type of bad financial decision would have. So being able to help them do that is really important to me.
When you're not working, what do you do for fun?
So I'm boring. I love to sit and our family, our parents. I really love and cherish family time. I came from a family that was very close knit just because we did move quite a bit growing up. So those times are really important to me. But I also love to spin. That is one of my things to do. I love exercise. I love the endorphins that I get from exercise. I was an athlete, still am an athlete all through college and even today. So being able to spend time with family and stay active and move and bring family into that are two things that I try and do as much as I can when I'm not working.
Who is your hero?
I have a couple heroes, three of which are famous names. John Glenn is a hero of mine. I was living in Florida when he orbited the Earth. I think he was like 80 something. And I remember watching, I could see the space shuttle from my backyard. And from that moment on, I was just fascinated with his story. My father was a Navy pilot. So having a military pilot, it was just something that really resonated. I actually wrote an essay and won an essay contest when I was in 6th grade, and it was to him, and he sent me a note. And it was just one of those things where I've always really looked up to him. Condoleezza Rice is another one of my heroes. I love her attitude. I love how she is quieter in her success, and no one really, because of that approach, a lot of people don't question that. So that's really cool to me. But really my main hero is my mom. And that's, again, I'll go back to, I don't want to sound cheesy, but my mom raised three of us thousands of miles from her family, and being a mom myself, I tell her every day, I don't know how you did it, because I live 15 minutes from both my in-laws and my parents. So I get all the joys of that. And she was just amazing. My father was, on naval aircraft carriers for 18 months, 2 years at a time. And I would have never thought that wasn't normal and I was missing out. She just did the most amazing job working full time, raising us, just never letting us feel like we were different or missing out or anything. So she is just a hero, to say the least.
If you had all of the money in the world you ever needed, what would you do?
So I'm going to flip this question a little bit because I'm not quite sure I would want all the money in the world. I started really thinking about this question and, things went through my brain. I would buy a boat. I would, pay off different debts we have, right? But really, when I started to think about people that do have a lot of money and could be said to have a lot of money in the world, the responsibility that comes with that money, the attention that comes with that money is not something that I would necessarily want to deal with or be a part of my life. So while would I say no if someone said I could have all the money in the world? Absolutely not. And I would travel that world, but I would also be very conscious in putting that money to work and helping people and giving back. But I would also probably hire a lot of security and make sure I had privacy in some way, shape, or form.
Besides John Glenn, who is your favorite person in history and why?
Yeah. So I really am attracted to historical figures that really believed in something and stuck to their guns. So Abraham Lincoln is someone that I respect in so many ways. Obviously, he kept this country and led us together and led us through a civil war in probably what could be said to be the most contentious time in our history, right? His election led to the secession of 6 states in the country. Like, that's crazy, right? It's amazing what he was able to push us through, and here we are today, better for it. So it's just an unbelievable thought. I couldn't even imagine an election, even with all of the craziness that goes on in our world today, leading to the breaking up of the United States, right? So just an amazing feat, something to definitely be thankful for and revered.
When you think about success, what does that look like?
Success is for me is freedom, probably freedom from worry, freedom from fear, and being grateful. So yes, that could be in having all the money in the world, going back to one of your previous questions, but it could also be family success and friends success and having those great relationships that you can rely on. Also knowing that hard work that you've put in is paying off and you're seeing things come to fruition that you've wanted. So I would say overall it's freedom.
That sounds like a wonderful definition of success. What is one thing that you recommend most to clients, family, or friends? This can be a book, a song, a TED Talk, a saying, anything like that.
So right now, most recently, it's the Apple Watch. I've gotten the Apple Watch. It was one of those gadgets that I've been eyeing up for probably the past 18 months, and I finally took the plunge, and it's been worth every penny. I really am someone that loves new technology and exploring that. So that has been an awesome thing. And they have this great feature on the Apple Watch that not many people talk about, but it's the breathe feature where it helps. It's 1 minute of a meditation exercise. And I'm not someone that really meditates, but I was on a flight recently that was very turbulent and I'm not a huge fan of that. And I was able to relax very quickly. So that was a huge win. So the Apple Watch all the way through is something that I am very high on recommending at the moment.
What is one thing that most people don't know about you that you'd be comfortable to share on the podcast?
So most people don't know I am what I would like to call an extroverted introvert. That makes sense. So I have a lot of comfort being in large groups with new people, but it's something that is extremely taxing. So I'm able to create conversation and relate to many different types of people for hours on end. But the minute I leave that, I am just completely wiped. My energy is gone. It takes a lot of work for me to do it, where I think that true extroverts probably get a lot of energy from that. So if I had to choose between meeting all types of new people and being in that type of environment versus sitting on my couch and drinking some tea and watching a television show, I would pick being on my couch. So I like to describe myself as an extroverted introvert. I can do it if I have to.
What is your mantra or motto or something that you say to yourself to keep you on track when things maybe go south?
So something that I struggle with is getting ahead of myself. So I like to think ahead and be prepared, but sometimes that's almost a negative because I start to create these things in my head that will probably never, ever happen, but then I get myself all worked up about them. So what I like to repeat to myself is participate, don't anticipate. So I really use that a lot in work, but also as being, a mom with my son, it's stay in the moment, handle what you can right now, participate in what this is, even if it's something that's stressful, just stay here, solve the problems that you can solve and that are there to be solved, and don't create or anticipate things that might not ever come to life. So that is something for me that I actually have it on a sticky note on my monitor at my desk. Just, don't get too far ahead of yourself because really it's just wasted energy at that point.
What is your proudest achievement?
So for me, this was actually something that was very easy. As I said, I was an athlete. I was a gymnast growing up. I was a competitive gymnast for almost 14 years. And I won the California Level 5 Floor Exercise State Championship. And that, to this day, is my proudest achievement. And I'll tell you why. That moment was a culmination of probably about 5 good years of really hard work. And it was the first time I wrote a goal down and achieved it. And it was life-changing because it proved to me that hard work really does pay off. Hearing that as a kid, okay, great. But when you do it, and I think because I was able to do that, I've taken risks as a teenager and as an adult that I probably wouldn't otherwise have, because I know that I can put my head down, I can do the work, I can learn, and it'll pay off and I'll get there. So it was my proudest achievement, not only because it was so important to me as a 12-year-old, but more because of the path and the confidence that it gave me in moving forward in my life. So that is just something that still to this day I'm so proud of, even though it didn't make me more money directly or make me famous in any way or move my career forward, but it really has set a path for who I've become.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for giving our audience an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It was great to share that, and I'm looking forward to our next conversations.
As am I. So we just interviewed Allie Carey, Director of Client Experience at Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, make sure you click that subscribe now button below. That way, every time the Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI podcast team comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. And it also makes it easier for you to share with other financial services professionals who you know could really use this information. So for everybody at SEI, this is Matt Halloran, and we'll see you on the other side of the mic very soon.
Thank you for listening to the Practically Speaking podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. Information provided by Independent Advisor Solutions by SEI, a strategic business unit of SEI Investments Company. The information covered and posted represents the current views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Independent Advisor Solutions, SEI. Guests are not affiliated with SEI or its subsidiaries. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.